World of Warcraft has a bit of a public image problem.
Despite being one of the best games ever made and insanely popular the world over, across nations, cultures, genders and ages, mention WoW to somebody and the first thing they'll think of is probably this. I don't play WoW anymore, but I did for a long time, and every once in a while I take a trip back to Azeroth to see how it's doing. Like millions of others, it introduced me to an entirely new way to play games, and has left me with some of my fondest gaming memories. So while Blizzard are busy sticking pandas into the world, we thought it time we revisited Azeroth to explain why over 10 million people would rather hassle murlocs and collect ruined pelt than play any new games.
This is the WoW episode of Escape from Mount Stupid. That'll be $9.99, please. No, really, I'm running out of shirts to wear.
Prior to WoW, the massively multiplayer online role-playing game, or MMORPG genre, was dominated by two games. Electronic Arts' Ultima, released in 1997, and Sony's EverQuest, released in 1999. Between them, they developed the systems first found in text-based multi-user dungeon games into the MMO model that World of Warcraft would eventually emulate and polish. Things like quests, different races, guilds, instances, character customization, social interaction, and dancing. Ultima had 8 expansion packs while EQ had 18. For those of you wondering when WoW will eventually die, it's worth mentioning that both of these games are still running today. The popularity of these games, which used a subscription model, caught the eye of Blizzard, a company primarily engaged in the RTS and RPG genres. At the time, Blizzard were already prolific in the real-time strategy genre with their Warcraft and Starcraft series, while their Diablo series was among the most popular role-playing games of the day. This knowledge of RPG mechanics and the competitive and social aspect of games from their RTS franchises appeared to be a perfect storm.
World of Warcraft, or WoW, came out in North America and Australia on November 23rd, 2004. All in all, a good week for PC gamers. Half-Life 2 came out the previous Tuesday.
Europeans wouldn't get the game until the following February, which led to thousands of gamers, myself included, buying American subscription keys on eBay and downloading the client.
Many gamers have never played WoW because it kinda looks too complicated, so for those of you who've never visited Azeroth before, here's a basic guide to how World of Warcraft works.
WoW is an online role-playing game where thousands of gamers get together on each server to level their character up by exploring the world and completing quests given to them by non-player characters. Exciting quests like kill 10 of this thing, collect 5 of these, deliver this arbitrary object, and visit my friend.
No, really, that's basically what you do for most of the game.
There are 2 major factions, the Alliance and the Horde. Each faction has a number of races. The Alliance contains the races of Dwarf, Gnome, Human and Night Elf, while expansion packs would later add the Draenei and Worgen to their ranks. The Horde, meanwhile, contains the races of Forsaken Undead, Troll, Tauren and Orc, later adopting the races of Blood Elf and Goblin. Once you've chosen a race and named your dude something really stupid and otherworldly, you pick their class. The classes on offer: Warrior, Paladin, Hunter, Rogue, Priest, Shaman, Mage, Warlock, Druid and Death Knight define your character's role in combat. Some used range attacks to pull the attention of distant enemies. Others act as tanks, taking attention and damage, while their comrades attack the mob. There are healers who support the front line, paladins who cast useful spells on their comrades, magic users who cast spells across a wide area of effect, silent assassins, and those who harness the power of nature. Though your class largely decides how you play, you decide your character's strengths and weaknesses by choosing how to distribute points in their talent tree as you level up. Outside of combat, you could choose to learn 2 professions from a collection including alchemy, blacksmithing, enchanting, engineering, herbalism, inscription, jewel crafting, leatherworking, mining, skinning, and tailoring. You are also free to learn cooking, first aid, fishing, and archaeology. As you explore the world and face tougher opponents, you'd frequently join up with other players and take them on as a party. High-level players would join large raiding parties organised by guilds. In these, players must work together to explore large dungeons full of much more difficult opponents. A leader would issue tactics and orders to individual players to ensure victory. Of course, every once in a while, even the most regimented team would be wiped by the actions of a single reckless player.
And nobody was more reckless than the infamous Leroy Jenkins.
Oh, it's a lot better than we usually do.
Alright, chums up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my god, he just ran in. Save him!
Oh geez, stick to the plane!
Oh Jesus, let's go. Stick to the fledge, chums.
Stick to the plane!
Oh gee, oh fuck. Give me divine intervention! Oh god.
Oh, for...
Great job,
For
Christ's sake. Leroy, you were just stupid as hell.
At least I have chicken.
The world is split into a number of continents: Kalimdor over here, the Eastern Kingdoms in the east, and Northrend in the, well, north. A large swirling maelstrom churns in the centre, a reminder of the violence of the world, while Outland, an extra-dimensional realm for high-level players, is accessible via the Dark Portal. You travel the world on foot at first, taking griffin rides between cities you discover on your way. Boats can be taken to other continents, and when you level up to 20, you can get a mount. Level up to 60 and you get a flying mount, which allows you to take the disguise.
And that's pretty much it on the surface, but unlike many games, the world of World of Warcraft had a depth of lore that connected every character, quest and story. It had a history.
I'll never forget the first time I played WoW, stepping out into the silent, snowy forest of Coldridge Valley and opening the map to see the scale of the world in front of me. It was like standing on the edge of an adventure filled with excitement at the journey that lay ahead. What was even better was that I wasn't alone. Two of my friends from college were with me. Over the next few months, we would spend hours every day exploring the world together, 3 PCs crammed into my friend's modest bedroom. As my dwarf Fugani leveled up and got to grips with his paladin skills, he emerged from the valley into the icy plains of Dunmora. He climbed to the dwarven capital Ironforge, took a griffin ride to the human capital Stormwind, and hunted wolves in the Elwyn Forest. He wandered into Westfall, cleared the dead mines, and travelled across seas, mountains, glaciers, deserts, and into worlds unknown. With every step my character took, new adventures and stories were uncovered. Like the best of games, World of Warcraft eases you in, and before you know it, you're an expert. Much of the game's momentum comes from the efforts to acquire new loot, either by taking on specific bosses, raiding dungeons and hoping for specific drops, or by accumulating enough gold to buy one from a vendor or through the game's auction house. New weapons and armor lead to improved stats and abilities, and these are especially useful in PvP or player v player scenarios. The game system of reward encourages you to take on just one more quest. Smaller quests lead to new areas with longer quest lines. Each new area looks unique, enticing you to explore, and stay logged out for a while and you get a rested XP bonus the next time you log in.
But the hook of the game was the social aspect. Guild members would naturally become close friends after hours of playing together and talking.
After a while, not turning up to help your guild in a raid is just like not turning up to a friend's party. You feel like you're letting people down.
Giving up the game itself isn't that hard, it's giving up your friends that's the tough part.
There came a point in my time at WoW where I'd kind of had enough. Like any other game, I'd simply just burn myself out on it. But by this stage, the majority of what me and my friends did was play Warcraft. It wasn't until the summer, when I didn't have to travel across town to college, that I made the decision to stop playing, which unfortunately meant deciding not to hang around with my two mates so much. For me, it wasn't so bad, but you could very easily find yourself in a situation where your entire social life was accessible through the game. At least Blizzard rewards those who commit time to Warcraft. Frequent patches add new content to the game, and seasonal events give Azeroth a real sense of time. The game has had 3 retail expansion packs: the Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, and most recently, Cataclysm, a pack that changed the entire face of Azeroth.
Exploring Azeroth was my favourite part of WoW, so when Cataclysm came out, I jumped back in again for a couple of months to see how the world had changed. And seeing old haunts ravaged by floods and fire, it evoked a real sense of loss.
This video could be half an hour long and still wouldn't touch upon the litany of incredible stories that have emerged from Azeroth's lands. The corrupted blood plague that spread across the world like a real virus, the woman who successfully prostituted herself for gold, the Chinese slave shops that actually farm gold and sell it online, in-game funerals for real-world people being attacked, the unlicensed Chinese theme park, and the millions of friends and lovers who would never have crossed paths if it hadn't been for this online video game. It suffices to say that World of Warcraft is one of the best and most important games of the 21st century. The only problem is the majority of the population are high-level characters now, so starting areas can be a little bit lonely. Let's hope the upcoming expansion pack, Mists of Pandaria, a pack born out of an April Fool's joke in which Blizzard said they would add pandas to the world, might address this issue, but I can't escape the feeling that the ship has sailed for WoW. 7 years on, the subscription rates have begun to drop considerably, and with new MMOs like the Old Republic coming on the scene, the future of the World of Warcraft is unsure.
But what do you guys think? Do you still play WoW? Are you going to come back to play as a panda? Or do you have any particularly good World of Warcraft stories of your own? If you do, please leave them in the comment box below, or feel free to get feedback to me directly over Twitter using @DannyO'Dwyer.